how often do you get asked about having celebrity clients, and do they do yoga differently?
All the time.
And you say that they're all doing yoga like everybody else does.
I get asked all the time, of course, but I think that is also so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Because there are people that everybody looks up to.
Yeah.
You know, when my first student in my life was Kareena Kapoor, and I love Bebo. Like, I feel like I also felt that sort of validation that, you know, somebody like her who's a super mega, I don't even know what star, you know, believes and trusts in me. So for me, that was like literally it elevated the way I felt about what I was doing. Like, you know, you almost need that, you know, it's one thing when your parents are telling you and when your family is supportive, but it's very different when somebody from the outside who never knew you nurtures what you do almost, you know. So that gave me that confidence, because that also sort of pivots the masses to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that mindset is change has been very beautiful. Also, I was part of a movie called Gehraiyaan, which is a mainstream Bollywood film.
Yeah.
And I saw like yoga became cool also.
Yeah.
So why not, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I enjoy that. And trust me, like it's so beautiful when I tell this to everybody, and my students know that every single person, it's everybody's doing it the same way, you know. Everybody has to get to work. It's just the roles that they are playing is different, but everybody comes with their same body, their same anatomy, you know, which is beautiful. But what I really appreciate is you know, sort of owning that and even sharing how they feel about the practice, because that's how you know, we've gotten so many people to actually think it's worthwhile practicing it.
How did she become your first client?
So I
didn't know that till you said it. So I'm like,
I was about to go back to the airlines, right? And I was in that sort of, I was not sure. So that time I was just observing a family friend's yoga class situation. So I used to go there because in order to also get your license, you have to teach and observe classes. And I mean, respecting any license is very important. You just can't get out of a yoga school and start teaching. You have to be observing. So I was observing a lot of classes. And at some point, all my hours got over. I was at home doing nothing. And I get a call from the school that was the former head of that school, who said, hey, unfortunately, she had moved away from Bandra. And she said, I'm far away. Unfortunately, there's no public transport that I can take, and I don't know how to drive, and I don't have a driver. Can you sort of take one of my classes? And I'm like, sure. I mean, you know, it was only 5:30 a.m., but I was an early riser. Because I think back then I used to sleep at about 8:39 and wake up at 4:30 and like practice at a certain time, because that's not the time. I was very rigid. Like, you know, this is the best time to practice, so I have to practice. That's who I was, who I'm not anymore. So I'm up and about. I'm like, okay, sure. And then I go to that address, and I still remember the door open, and I saw Saif Ali Khan, and I died. I'm like, oh, I woke up literally. I'm like, I didn't even realize which student I was taking a class with, and then it was Bebo's class. But I have to tell you that after the first 2 minutes, it's her energy, and you know that I think a teacher-student relationship is a lot of exchange of energy, especially when you do this practice, because it is spiritual in nature. And after 2 minutes, I think I forgot about I'm teaching, you know, who am I teaching? That just, like, I didn't even think about that. I think after the hour, 15 minutes was over, and I went home. I remember taking a nap and then waking up to like some 20 missed calls of the same person who couldn't use the public transport. I said, hey, you know, did I mess up? Like, obviously, I've never taught a class before. She's like, no, you were amazing, and, you know, she wants you to come back. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, that's amazing. That's extremely rewarding. And that's how I hold the story so close to my heart, because I feel like when people talk about, you know, like different roles, it just happened. It really just happened. It was so amazing that I was up at that time, because if it wasn't me, it probably would have been somebody else, right?
Well, that is such an interesting coincidence for it to happen that way. And I feel also these things, and you know, there are a lot of things that happen to you in your life. Some things happen because of chance, some things happen because of effort, but something just happened to kind of show you, okay, once again, validation is important, right? Validation just kind of gives you that slight nudge.
It does give you a nudge. Is it important? Like, I mean, that time I would think it was the most important. Maybe right now, maybe not so much. But I also feel like that comes with experience. No, you can't tell a you can't tell a 10-year-old that don't look for fully, that's not happening. So I think that flexibility again in my mind that I talk about I'm not that rigid a person anymore.
Like this clip, make sure you watch the full episode.